Hi there, I'm Alan R. from Motor Matters, the channel that you should be subscribed to because we bring you the latest, the greatest, the hottest, the best, and we give you critical comment on all the cars we look at, test, that are launched, and even bring you the latest news from the motoring industry in South Africa. Ford's EcoSport. Believe it or not, it's been around for about 10 years now, and it's one of the first crossover SUVs that came onto the South African market. Now, how do you keep a 10-year-old car relevant in the market? Well, Ford have become masters because they bring out special editions, they bring out little changes, they do things like that. They've done it so well with the old Rangers, and they've done a few on the EcoSport now as well. So you have a look at this one we've got here. It's called the EcoSport Active. Only launched about 2 months ago in South Africa. There is a launch video on the channel as well. You see the blacked out grille over here. You see the extra black treatment down at the front, and even black treatment around. Note the fog lights, etc. So you've got all these sort of features. The blacked out being the body, the external changes on the car. You come around, there was always some cladding around the side because it's a crossover SUV. But note the extra black cladding on the side around the wheel arch, and the black cladding goes all the way down the bottom of the doors. So you've got that to emphasize, and you've got unique to the Active. Also on the Active, you'll notice the extra black trim, like the mirrors, the little roof rail type of effect, and it's got a contrasting black roof as well. All these sort of features to differentiate the Active model. Then you take a look down the side of the vehicle and you'll see a number of features and factors as well. And something I'll just point out to you is old-fashioned key. They work well enough, certainly, but you've got to put it in the ignition, turn it. Maybe I'm spoilt by expecting a little bit different these days. A nice feature on this car as well, you can see the space in the rear, it is pretty good, is that when you want to fold the rear seats, if you need more load space, note that the base flips up first and then the backrest to give you a nice flat area, and split 2/3, 1/3, just like you'd expect. So it does give you, but lots of headroom in the back. Decent legroom with a front seat set for me, although there are no USB ports for rear seat passengers. Well, you pay your money, you take your choices, that's what you get. Of course, one of the unique design features of the EcoSport has always been the spare wheel mounted on the back door. Lower trend and ambiente models, you'll notice, don't get a cover on the rear wheel. It sits there without this cover. Well, again, up to you. It does look good in body color, etc. And to point out to you, there are rear park distance control, park distance beepers, but there's no rear camera on this one, and I found that a little bit strange. What is very unusual is, notice the side opening rear door. Swings nice and wide. Be careful in parking areas if someone's parked behind you. But what it gives you is a really nice low load lip over here, so you don't have to lift over when you're putting luggage in. The boot doesn't extend that far into the car, can I call it? But notice the height. You can take the shelf out if you want. You could stack suitcases upright instead of other ways if you really want to get a nice load in here and you don't want to drop the rear seats. Again, they all work for you, and the very upright, high riding stance, can I call it, of the EcoSport is quite distinctive. This model is powered by Ford's EcoBoost 1-litre 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine. It's been around a long time, but it won World Small Engine of the Year 6 years in a row for a very good reason. Puts out 91 kilowatts, 170 Newton meters, driving the front wheels through a 6-speed automatic gearbox. Smooth, easy, comfortable, exactly what you want in a town car these days. On the road, let's see. Well, there's a little bit of boom, I would call it, but that's from the boxy shape. I've got no complaint about that really. But what is important is on a really, really bumpy, rough little piece of road in my area, it's still smooth enough, it's still comfortable enough. The 6-speed auto just does its own thing and you can just leave it. It's got a sport setting below drive. There aren't flappy paddles or anything like that, but it has got the sport mode if you want. I don't know, I just don't see the need for it in a car like this. I think this is a car that literally you put in drive and you go and you enjoy, you relax, take it easy. It'll cruise all day at the national speed limit, so you don't have to worry about that. And it'll just be comfortable and pretty relaxed. It's a lifestyle vehicle. Enjoy the lifestyle. I think that's the important part. We're going to now hit the little section of the road where it's quite bumpy and uneven. So let's see how it handles it. And then also we'll just show you that slight little uphill section that we always cover on these drives now. On our, can I call it our standard little route? I think it's become that. But you can see the handling is reasonable. I mean, I'm not going too slowly. I'm just cruising around. And these corners are fairly tight. So that's okay. And now we'll start heading on the uphill section, as I said. So listen to it, remembering it's a 6-speed auto. So let's see how it behaves and what it says. You can hear the revs are going up a little bit, but of course that's why not. It is, don't forget, just a buzzy little 3-cylinder turbo. You often forget that fact in this car for some strange reason. But let's see now, I've kicked down a gear, you can feel it. Oh, acceleration's not bad. No turbo lag as such that's discernible. It just gets on with the business. I just want to show you one last thing, and we will see our turning circle for our U-turn at the top of the road and see how it does that, because that's become a little comparison now as well on all of our tests. Here we go. Let's just come round here and let's see if we can make it in one go, or if we have to do a 3-point. And the answer is, whoops, no, 3-point for the EcoSport. 3-point turn, not 3 points. Don't take me wrong on that one. But no complaint, nice and easy. And there we go. And jumping in behind the wheel. Simple, basic instrumentation, but what more do you need? Tells you what you need to know. And what I'm going to show you now is 6.9 litres per 100 kilometres for the test period, having covered 426 kilometres on this test. So not bad at all. I must say I'm quite happy with that, and it certainly does give you decent economy. This has been mixed driving, urban driving. I think many owners can expect around this kind of figure, so nicely done, Ford. On this model, of course, and it's based on the trend version. Let's just get that clear to you. You'll see over here you've got extra buttons on the steering wheel for your cruise control system, your sound, everything else. You know what to expect. What this car's got, of course, besides 6 airbags, is it has got collision mitigation. And that is a nice feature and a good feature to have, and that's where the active comes in, of course. So in other words, if it detects that you're not braking in time for an obstacle in front of you, it will brake for you and hit that control for you. I do like that, so I'm very happy with that. Let's move over to the center screen over here. Now remembering that it's Ford's Sync 2.5 system that they're using over here, so it's got all the connectivity you want. And of course, one of the big things of, again, the active model is it is the first EcoSport to use Ford Pass. What's Ford Pass? Well, it's an app. You see their mobile apps. It links to your phone, and you can start the engine remotely. It tells you about servicing. It tells you about all of those sort of things. So it's an online app that you use, as I say, connected to your phone, connected to this car, and certainly quite unexpected on a car in this market segment. But obviously it's Ford bringing it in for the future, I suppose, and where they're going to go with this car down the line. As I say, this screen works nicely, all good, except I mentioned what they call rear park pilot, but no camera. But it does, as you reverse, obviously warn you when you're approaching an obstacle. It is good enough, but we're just so used to cameras these days. I think that's the point. You come down, you've got your air conditioning system. You can't set temperature, but really, I think it's good enough for me. And you've got 2 USBs over there and a 12 volt below it. There's what I used to always call the hooligan button. Traction control you can turn off. Such limited circumstances where you should be doing that, quite honestly. Otherwise, just don't. 6-speed auto gearbox, I mentioned, just a normal torque converter, works nicely, works easily. In urban use, it's absolutely perfect. And there is enough in reserve for overtaking on the freeway. Again, important. Now, Active also gives you leather trim with an embossed A on the front seats over here, just to tell you you're in the special model, the special version, the Active. Other than that, obviously, I'm going to say to you, there are dozens of choices in this category. There really are. The crossover SUV category. So I'm not going to run through and tell you which there are and which you can choose, etc. You know them all. You know what's around. I don't have to mention it to you. But you've got a 10-year record. And many, many people believe cars get built better and better as time goes by on the production line. So after this time, believe me, they should be putting them together pretty well. But you've got that. You get Ford's 4-year, 60,000 kilometer service plan included with this car as well. You're getting all of those. You're getting good space. And you're getting all those sort of features. Now you've got the added features of the Active. All coming in at 393,700 Rand. Which is a pretty competitive price as well. Looking for a small crossover SUV? Don't discount this one. That's all I'd like to tell you. For Motor Matters, I'm Eleanor. See you next time.